Today we are going to learn about history. History is the story of the people on our planet, the story of everything that people had ever done. In this session, we are going to learn about history and the ancient period. Let's get started. What is history? History is the study of past, people, societies, events, and their problems. When the past events are studied carefully and systematically on the basis of available material, remains, and records, it's called history. History also teaches us through example, offering hints about how we can better organize and manage our societies for the benefit of all. Who are historians? The person who carries out studies related to the past and records the findings is called a historian. History is the study of past. It is full of events. When an event happens, there are three things we need to know. What happened, where did it happen, and when did it happen? An earthquake occurred. Where? In Gujarat. When? In 2001. Events may happen in people's lives, in societies, in countries, on earth, and in the universe. Let us understand this with the help of a timeline. A timeline is a record of the past. Historians use a timeline to record the events. Timeline help us to keep track of important events. They also tell us how much time goes by before the next event occurs. Historians develop a special method of counting the years. They use the letters BC or BCE, AD or CE. BC stands for before Christ. BCE stands for before Common Era. AD stands for Anno Domini, in the year of our Lord. CE stands for Common Era. Historians use the birth of Jesus Christ as the reference date, that is, the beginning of the calendar. So the year after his birth written as CE or AD. The year before the birth of Jesus Christ is written as BC or BCE. 100-year means a century. Historians History tells us about various developments which have taken place in human society in different periods. Indian history is divided into three periods, namely ancient, medieval, and modern period. Incidents which took place up to 8th century AD come under ancient history. Under the ancient history, we study about the Maurya rulers and the Gupta rulers. Incidents which took place between 9th century to 17th century come under the medieval history. Under the medieval history, we study about Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal rulers. Incidents which took place from 18th century till date come under modern history. Under the modern history, we study about the British rule in India. Now let us discuss about the ancient period. India has a glorious past, a wonderful history. In about 2500 BCE, there was a very advanced civilization near the Indus River, now in Pakistan, called Indus Valley Civilization. Children, what is civilization? It's a nation or people that share a common culture, common economy, common faith or religion. Indus Valley Civilization is also called Harappan Civilization because Harappa was the first city to be discovered from this civilization. The Indus Valley civilization stretched from northwestern India to present-day Pakistan, as you can see in the picture. All the civilizations developed next to big rivers. Why? Because of good farming, and it was easy for people to move from place to place. The Indus Valley civilization likely ended due to climate change and migration. The Indus Valley civilization people built well-planned cities. The Indus Valley people built well-planned cities, hence they were skillful builders. The cities of the Indus Valley civilization were well organized and built out of brick. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were the important cities of this civilization. Great Bath in Mohenjo-daro. What is Mohenjo-daro? It is Mound of the Dead, and Great Granary in Harappa. Great Bath is the public water tank. It would have been used for special religious functions. Great Granary in Harappa was the largest building which was used to store the surplus food grains. Other remains like seals, pottery, jewelry, etc. tell us about the lives of the people who live here. Children, the first session is over. Let's recall what we have discussed. We discussed about history. History is the study of past. The person who carries out studies related to the past and records the findings is called a historian. A timeline is a record of the past. Indian history is divided into three periods, namely ancient, medieval, and modern. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were the important cities of this civilization. Now, let's watch a video.
And in fact, the world was the Indus Valley civilization, also called the Harappan culture. About 5,000 years ago, a group of nomads traveling from Sumeria, the present-day Iran, entered northwest India near present-day Karachi. These nomads found a land so richly fertile by the banks of the river Indus that they settled there without hesitation. This area was abundant with water, fodder, and fuel. Over the next 1,000 years, the immigrants spread over an area of 500,000 square miles. Excavations prove that the level of urban planning and architecture prevalent here was incomparable. The anchor for this civilization lay in the beautiful twin cities of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. The name Mohenjo-daro means Mound of the Dead in Sindhi. The city was built around 2600 BC. These cities were made up of bricks, either baked mud or wood bricks. The baked bricks were a superior version of the sun-dried bricks used in other civilizations. The amazing part was that the workers made every brick of the same size. The type of brick used ensured the durability of the buildings. Despite a population of about 30,000, the city had one of the best sanitation systems. Each house had a well from which it drew water. From a bathing room, the wastewater was directed into covered drains along the main streets. Since all the streets were well drained, the city remained dry and clean. This is evidence of a very modern method of sanitation and sewerage. Mohenjo-daro was primarily an agricultural city. It was situated below the great mountain ranges with rivers flowing abundantly through the land, depositing rich, fertile soil. This made evident the fact that agriculture was the main occupation. Further proof of this is the presence of a large well, a central marketplace, and several granaries in the city. Near the granary was the great public bathhouse known as the Great Bath. Steps led down to a pool lined with bricks in a huge courtyard. The beautiful bath area had a layer of natural tar. This was to prevent it from leaking. In the center of the bath area was a swimming pool. The purpose of the Great Bath was assumed to be for ritualistic bathing. This is a practice followed by Hindus even today. Houses were well protected from noise, odor, and thieves. Each house opened out onto inner courtyards and smaller lanes, so it was safe. Although some houses were larger than the others, the city seemed to promote an equal society, for all houses had the same kind of access to water and drainage. The city had an impressive defense structure in place as well. Though it lacked outer walls, there were defensive towers in the west and south. Since other Indus cities had stronger defense systems in place, it is speculated that perhaps Mohenjo-daro was only an administrative center.
That's all for this session, children. Take care.